is this going to be trial?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so Mr. Steele's the state's court of the County System under this county. And, they have, Trooper, Kozakowski, please raise your right hand. We'll do this at the tables. Do you solemnly swear any testimony that you give tonight will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so that you can say please pray?
I do, Your Honor.
Tell me about this case.
This was a case I was monitoring traffic on Interstate 93 out of Canterbury. I observed a vehicle passing by the non-inspection sticker. I stopped the vehicle and issued a citation as such.
Is there anything else that you want to tell the court?
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Is there anything else that you want to tell the court? What's that?
What's what?
There's like a device that you're
Yes, it's a recording
Can you tell me
device.
about that?
It's a recording device, ma'am.
Okay, you do know we're taking an official record of your case?
Yes, I'm taking my own official record as well.
You do know that you have to file a notice with the court for that. Did you have a chance to do that today?
I'm asking for a reasonable accommodation for ADA. I have head trauma, so.
Look at that, but there is a procedure that you have to follow with that. You have to fill out.
It's notice for the court, and it can't be denied unless there's like a real reason for it, so.
Please go downstairs. We have a form for these, sort of memorializes it for your case. Please go downstairs and fill that out. Renee, do we have enough for
It's just to notify you, and you say, okay, I recognize that it's a notification. It's not a permission slip, so I've been through this. I'm sure you know who I am. Not trying to cause a problem here.
It'll
It'll be downstairs.
be downstairs.
Yep.
Can we have one brought up here?
Sure, I can look up.
Let me know if I need to take a recess. Just gonna have you fill it out just because we have everybody else be down in the same situation. Thank you. I was gonna say the official copy of this hearing, the record is kept by our clerk's office. If you need a copy, all you need to do is ask.
I've ran into these problems where there is no record. There supposedly was a record being kept, and then there is no record as well, so.
Okay, let me just check our equipment here. I'm gonna take a recess and let me take a recess.
All right, please. Frank, did they do that? They take care of that downstairs? They just get okay?
It's to give to the judge. It's a notice form. It's not a permission slip. I mean,
Just put a name in there.
what is it? I'm not sure what the name of the case is.
Cell phone? Silence it? Could. Somebody's cell phone's going off. I don't know who's it. Steve? Did you get a phone call? He's always the culprit.
Me?
No, Steve.
Oh, yeah, he looks guilty.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is or
Okay.
anything. Sure. You see how it says notice form at the top?
I do, thank you for.
Thank you.
Putting that out to me.
Yes.
Now that we've taken care of this, I think we're ready to resume. Is there anything else that you'd like to tell the board about?
I just want to clarify, Your Honor, am I testifying right now? Or we just
Yes,
have-
it's
Okay.
a trial.
Okay,
My
So-
understanding is that you have no agreement, so.
that's correct.
Nobody
So,
tried to
I'll-
do anything. I did not get any
Let me
discovery.
just jump in, you're gonna take turns, because if you wanna be on the record, the only way it's gonna come out clearly is if one person talks at a time, that includes me. So right now, it's your first turn, go ahead when you're ready, please.
Yes, Your Honor, so I'm Trooper Peter Constantine in the Interstate Police. I've been employed by the Interstate Police since May of this year. On July 5th of this year, I completed the law package test out exam, was certified as a full-time law enforcement officer in the state of New Hampshire. My prior law enforcement experience, I completed the Law Enforcement Academy at St. Petersburg College's Southeastern Health and Safety Institute, graduating police recruit class 213 in August of 2019. I then served as a full-time law enforcement officer with the Miami County Sheriff's Office in Florida from September of 2019 until May of this year, at which point I completed the latter process to come up here. On the 9th of July of this year, at about 9 in the morning, I was monitoring traffic on Interstate 93 north of the town of Canterbury. At this point, I do request the court take judicial notice that Interstate 93 north in Canterbury is a way.
Is it what?
It's a way,
Okay.
it's a way in the state of New Hampshire. Go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. While monitoring traffic, I noticed a silver Subaru hatchback traveling northbound in the left-hand lane of Interstate 93. At the time the vehicle passed by, I did not observe an inspection sticker located in the bottom left-hand corner of the window as it would ordinarily be placed. I got up with the vehicle and initiated a traffic stop on it. At the time when I entered the tagging as part of the traffic stop, I also discovered that the tag had expired. I believe it was going to be on December 31st of 2023. I made contact with the driver as to walk him in the vehicle. He provided me with his New Hampshire driver's license. At that point, I identified the driver as Frank Staples. So request the court take notice that Mr. Staples is here today with the beard, wearing the red sweatshirt.
It will.
I asked him about his registration and his inspection. Mr. Staples informed me at the time that he hadn't had the money to take care of it and that he had just started work. As such, I only issued a citation for the inspection violation and did not issue a citation for the unregistered vehicle.
Anything else that you want to talk about?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Staples, it's your turn.
So, would I get to cross him?
Yes.
Okay. So what law or statute requires an unregistered vehicle to be inspected in the state of New Hampshire?
I believe it's going to be 266 section 1, I'm not sure.
266-1, but you're not sure? So can we get a copy of it out, or can I pull it up on my phone?
It's your
To
turn
show-
ask
to show
questions.
Jim.
Do you have any other questions?
Yeah, my question, he says he's not sure about that. So how is he supposed to enforce this registration and inspection law if he's not sure how it works?
You can answer that question.
Whenever I have a question about a statute, I go and I pull it up, I read the statute prior to taking any kind of enforcement action.
And did you do that in this case?
I didn't know that 266 section 5 does require the vehicle to be inspected to be operated on the road.
And does that require a registered or an unregistered vehicle to be inspected?
I would have to consult with the statute.
Okay, can we do that or no?
Do you have any other questions from this?
Oh, yes, I do.
Questions?
I have more questions. So, you don't know if 266.5, which is what you charged me with, correct?
Yes, 266 section 5.
Explicitly extends to unregistered vehicles.
I cannot answer that at this time.
Okay, so that would be a no. That would be a no.
Can you answer
Yes or
that?
no?
The
So
question
do you,
one more time?
does RSA 266.5 explicitly extend its application to unregistered vehicles?
I'm not sure at this time.
Okay, thank you. If inspection laws are tied to registration, would you agree with that?
I am not sure. I have to consult with the statute.
Okay. So, okay, I'm not sure if you could answer. How can an unregistered vehicle be subject to a law that it's not subject to? But you don't know about the law, so you can't answer the question. So, inspection requirements. Under what circumstances does the state consider an inspection requirement to be waived or inapplicable to a vehicle?
I'm not sure. I'd have to check the statute.
Okay. Can an unregistered vehicle legally undergo inspection? And if not, how would an owner comply with the law?
I'm not sure I have to consult the statute.
Enforcement mechanisms. If the law allows the suspension or revocation of registration for failure to inspect, how does this apply when the vehicle is not registered in the first place?
I'm not sure if it's done.
Okay. Questions about your actions. Interpretation of the law. Did you issue this citation under the assumption that inspection laws apply to unregistered vehicles?
Not necessarily to just unregistered vehicles, that it apply to any vehicle being operated on.
Any vehicle being operated. Okay, thank you. Evidence of violation. Did you verify whether the vehicle was registered or unregistered at the time of the stop?
I did.
And it was not, correct?
Correct.
It wasn't suspended?
Was not suspended, it was just, the registration assigned to the vehicle was expired.
Had expired. So, how do you establish that 266.5 applies to an unregistered vehicle?
I would have to consult with the statute.
Okay. Can you identify a case or a statute that directly supports the application of this
Not off the
inspection?
top of my head. I'm sorry, that's not fair, I
Yeah.
apologize.
It's okay. I was done. So you don't know?
Not off the top of my head, sir.
All right. Public safety questions. Is there any evidence that the vehicle posed an immediate safety risk that justified enforcing an inspection requirement?
I did not notice any immediate public safety risks.
Does the lack of a valid inspection sticker inherently render a vehicle unsafe if it is not registered for operation?
Can you ask that question one more time, sir?
Does the lack of a valid inspection sticker inherently render a vehicle unsafe if it is not registered for operation? So just because it doesn't have an inspection sticker, does that mean that it's unsafe?
Not necessarily, sir.
Does the legislative history of RSA 266.5 indicate that it was intended to apply to unregistered vehicles?
I know nothing about the legislative history of that particular statute.
How does the state reconcile applying inspection laws to unregistered vehicles when the statute primarily refers to registration?
I'm not prepared to answer that question.
Okay. How can vehicle owners comply with the inspection requirement for unregistered vehicles when registration appears to be a prerequisite for inspection?
I would need to consult with the statute.
Were you aware that you can't get a vehicle inspected until it's registered?
I was aware of that.
So you did know that. So then how did you think it was appropriate to apply an inspection requirement to an unregistered vehicle, which makes it impossible to have it inspected until it's registered, as you just agreed to?
Because the statute requires a vehicle to both be registered and inspected to be operated on the ways of the state.
And what law is that?
I don't know off the top of my head for the registration.
Okay. Let's try to get some notes here. Hold on. Oops. Yes, I'm going through my notes. Can you give me a second, please? Sorry.
If you can let me know, because there's other people waiting for their turns, how much time do you think?
Oh, it's going to take however much time the trial takes. I mean, am I limited on amount of time that I have here to defend myself?
Well, it will impact the others who are waiting behind you.
Well, that's not my problem. I'm not the one that was instructed to be here today, or instructed myself to be here. I didn't ask them to be here, okay? So, you don't know, here it is. So, so 266.5 requires, there's a due date for inspection after it's registered. So when was the due date requiring registration for this vehicle?
The due date for the registration requiring your vehicle in particular?
Correct. Do you know when that due date was?
The expiration was 31st of December 2023.
That's not for inspection, that's the registration.
Correct.
So the registration could or could not be, it's not I'm not required to register a vehicle all the time. I can have a vehicle unregistered, correct?
Correct.
So there's no law requiring vehicles to be registered at all times. And if there's a due date after a vehicle is inspected, that would require registered, that would require an inspection. There should be a due date. If my vehicle was required to be inspected, it would only be because it was registered, correct?
I would have to consult with the statute. I believe it gets a little bit more into it than that.
All right, so is it fair to say that you don't know of any due date for an inspection required on this vehicle?
As far as I'm aware, there's not a due date. There's just a requirement that it be inspected.
By what? You just said that vehicles can't be inspected until they're registered. So how am I supposed to inspect the vehicle if it's not registered?
You're supposed to have it registered and then inspected.
Correct. So why didn't you give me a ticket for, which I appreciate, for the registration?
I didn't believe it was necessary to write you 2 citations.
Okay, even though the registration is primary to inspection?
Is a prerequisite of the inspection, yes.
Correct. Okay, I'm done. Thank you.
The court will take this under advisement and issue a written order. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Take a brief recess.
All right,